Today, we're diving into a popular post from the Reddit titled as "TIFU by drinking alone with my best friend." This post received 1681 upvotes. Posted by AllegedSandwichThief. The post reads as follows. I, 36 meters, was out for drinks with friends, one of which, 34F, is my closest friend. I'm married, have kids, have always been faithful. We have a rule that when I am hanging out with my female friends that it's never one-on-one. This was my idea as I never want to be perceived by others as on a date with another woman. Well, this last time, our third party had to leave early unexpectedly right after our last round came. My closest friend and I were left by ourselves for 20 minutes to finish our drinks alone. I had been hoping for this time to have a conversation about the last time we had hung out. There was a moment when we were alone at the table while the third was in the restroom and almost kissed. I pulled away before anything happened and apologized the next day when we were sober. The conversation went well, but she admitted having feelings for me. Then, she pulled out her phone to show me a pic and asked me if she should go back to blonde. It was a nude of her sucking dick. I was caught off guard obviously, and she is undoubtedly beautiful. My jaw dropped. I drooled. She got the reaction she wanted. The conversation did not go as it should have. I should have shot her down there, paid the tab and left. Instead, for the entire weekend we entertained the idea by text. Ultimately concluding it's wrong and it would wreck our friendship and relationships. We've agreed we can never be alone together again. And we have shut down all one-to-one communication. We're trying to act like nothing has happened. But now, I can't get that image of her out of my head. And I'm lusting after her regularly. I can't stop thinking about her. I love my wife and choose her 100% every time. I have not physically done anything, but even considering anything is driving me crazy with guilt. I keep trying to forget about my friend and focus on my marriage, but my mind keeps going here and then I feel guilty again. I'm scared I'm falling for my friend. Edit. So I wrote this as a hurry as I'm at work and need to add clarity and correct a few things that unintentionally mislead the masses. It technically was a dildo, not another man's dick. So she didn't share a confidential photo of another man. When I say we entertained the idea by text, I asked her to send a nude when we left. She said she'd send it when she got home. She asked if I was ready before sending, but I didn't respond until the next day. She didn't respond all weekend. I had mixed feelings of wanting her to send it and move things forward, but also not wanting to betray my wife. Monday morning I forced her to stop ghosting me and we had a conversation that led to our current situation. She doesn't deserve as much hate as she's getting. I deserve more. I am a shitbag, but I want to do the right thing. I don't deny anything y'all are saying about me. I am seriously considering the suggestions here. TLDR, my best friend and I explored the idea cheating together but realized it's wrong. Now I feel guilty and yet can't stop thinking about my best friend romantically. A comment from user Thinking Thong says, "Sometimes the best way to see past lust is to jerk off." This comment received 2427 upvotes. A comment from user Fairweather Victim says, "There are lines you can't uncross and bells you can't unring. You had things set up to prevent exactly what happened, but now things will never be the same. You say you stopped because you didn't want to wreck your friendship, among other things, but I think, unfortunately, you did just that. You are infinitely more likely to cheat now. Make your choice now. If you love your wife like you say, drop the friend. The friend is waiting to catch you in a weak moment. Not a friend move." This comment received 4689 upvotes. A comment from user Phoenix Moonfire says, "She doesn't want you. She wants to know she can have you. Two different things, and neither are worth ruining a marriage over. Say good luck with life to her and walk away." This comment received 1668 upvotes. A comment from user secret_fudge 6470 says, "Your friend sounds like she doesn't have much respect for you or your marriage, and honestly, based on your behavior up until now, you seem to feel the same. Cut ties with this person. Your bestie is being inappropriate, and if you keep her in your life, you're agreeing to it. You are not choosing your wife if you decide to keep this ticking time bomb in your life. Ask yourself if your marriage is worth hanging out with this person and your dumb group texts. ETA. What the hell kind of best friendship can you even have with someone you can't hang out alone with or talk to without a chaperone? Use the big head here. You're basically saying you're okay with risking your marriage for an acquaintance who forced a nude photo on you. This comment received 836 upvotes. A comment from user form 84 says, I've been in this exact situation. Almost exactly this. Let me give you some advice from someone who ended up being weaker than I imagined myself to be. You are literally at the crossroads, and because you're thinking with your dick, you're likely going to go down the road you shouldn't, because your dick wants to. Y'all know what I think about. The one thing that would have actually nipped this whole thing in the butt with me was telling my wife what happened. Tell your wife what happened. Not including her in this problem is actually manipulating the scale in favor of your friend anyway, because now you're lying by omission. So tell her the complete truth. That nothing happened but you're afraid of the situation and you want her to know that you've chosen her. That you want her to know that she can trust you. And that you want her advice on how to handle the situation. Include your wife in the problem, and it will likely disappear, because you're much less attractive to your friend if she has to go through your wife to get to you instead of getting at you when you're alone and vulnerable. So do yourself a favor and talk to your wife about your problems. It's pretty much one of the things she signed up for when you two got married, and this is one of the times you should be able to call that in. This comment received 443 upvotes. A comment from user NeonV says, We've agreed we can never be alone together again. And we have shut down all one-to-one communication. We're trying to act like nothing has happened. This is a mistake. If you care about your wife at all, you will cut off all contact with this closest friend. Face with rolling eyes SMH. This comment received 60 upvotes. A comment from user Vote Brian Pepper says, You don't choose your wife 100% of the time, otherwise you wouldn't even be in this situation thinking about another woman regularly. But it may have been a way to expose some underlying unhappiness and you can build from that. This comment received 249 upvotes. A comment from user NoAsk2018 says, You've already crossed that barrier. The fact that you're even thinking about her in that way means that you're getting to the point of infidelity. You need to cut all contact. I'm saying this with care because it's a ticking time bomb on the way, and she's seen your reaction. She knows you're interested and she will make a first move. You think she gives a shit that you're married? No. That's why she showed you that photo. It was for a reason. Think about your wife, your family, and think about the life you're putting at risk for even entertaining this idea. Cut contact. Stop hanging out with her. Stop messaging her. It's extreme but needed. There's a guy from 2012 who posted a similar thing. He had met a younger woman while out with his wife, was adamant that he'd never cheat, and the next update was what he did. He went through a spiral of getting over guilt and deluding himself into thinking that this woman was the love of his life. He left his wife and kids for her and realized it was the biggest mistake of his life. You're standing at the boundary, and given the fact that you and her had a moment before all of this where you two almost kissed, makes me worried as to if you even want to stay loyal. Quite frankly, you should have cut things off the instant you recognized that. Let me just ask you. What if this was your wife? What if she had a male friend that she was experiencing these things with? How heartbroken would you feel? This will ruin your life, and I mean that with all honesty, because my ex-fiancé did the same thing. Now we're co-parenting and he's living with his mistake. This will not end well, and you need some brutal honesty. Think about your wife, the woman who's loved you for years, and think about your kids. Stop thinking with your dick. Cut contact and carry on. Edit. Another thing. Do you seriously think she likes you? Like at all? No, she likes the challenge. She likes the idea of you betraying your wife for her. That much is obvious, because if she truly did like you, she would be acknowledging the fact that you are married, and she would be happy for you. None of this shady shit. Like seriously, she showed you a pic asking if she should go blonde, and it was of her sucking dick? Jesus. That's the oldest trick in the book. She was planting seeds. She wants you to think about her in that way. It's a way of cracking down your morals. She doesn't like you. She likes the idea of you. If you cheated, and God forbid deluded yourself into thinking that you love her, how long would that last? I guarantee that she'll move on to the next guy in a couple of months, and you'll be crying back on here how you threw away your life, and that you love your wife. All of us are saying the same thing, so listen to us. You've already breached into cheating territory. You've already crossed the boundaries you and your wife set. I swear to God, if you come back here saying you cheated and threw your life away, don't bother, because we're all just going to laugh at you. This comment received 464 upvotes. A comment from user Retrofraction says, "First tell your wife what happened so when your friend gets mad nothing unexpected will happen. Second, unfriend. 3 things were wrong there. She tried to kiss you. She intentionally exposed herself to you. She admitted she wants you. She is never going to back down until Pandora's box is open, and you need to evaluate if that is something you even want to risk due to her potentially being at events again." This comment received 361 upvotes. A comment from user Halid91 says, "You need to tell your wife, like, yesterday. ETA. You cannot have a strong, healthy, happy marriage with secrets, especially secrets like this. You didn't physically have sex, but you absolutely broke the foundation of trust in your marriage. If you keep this from her, that will only wreck that foundation more. Doesn't matter if she doesn't know yet, you've still betrayed her, and you know it. If you want to do this the right way, tell your wife and go and see with your friend. Also, what kind of friend tries to get a married person to cheat on their spouse? If you don't come clean and cut off contact with that woman, I'm telling you, it's going to come out and it's gonna be ugly." This comment received 81 upvotes. A comment from user Probably Not a Duck says, "You entertained the idea by text? Texting back and forth with this woman for the entire weekend? You should feel guilty. This person isn't your friend. She is gross. Also, she has no qualms about moving in on married people. Like, yes, the onus is more on you because you took vows. But anyone who makes a pass at someone they know is married is 100% sleaze. Worse still, if you've been friends with this woman for a while, she knows your wife. That makes her an even bigger poss. Just be aware. If you throw away your marriage for this, which it already sounds like you are very close to doing, this is likely something that will end in a fiery crash anyway, and it will entirely be your own fault because you ignored blatant red flags the whole way in favor of your penis." This comment received 142 upvotes. A comment from user Titanity77 says, "I feel bad for your wife." This comment received 55 upvotes. A comment from user named User of Reddit says, "Jesus. To show a pic of her sucking someone else off like that's supposed to be a good idea? Lol, classy lady there." This comment received 165 upvotes. A comment from user Intraluminal says, "Having cheated on my wife many years ago, and been forgiven, let me just tell you that it was one of the worst, if not the worst decisions I have ever made in my life. Now that my wife has passed, it is on my mind daily. Save yourself from this hell, and do not do it. You cannot unring a bell. Believe me when I tell you that there is not enough money in this world to get me to ever make that mistake again." This comment received 48 upvotes. A reply from the original author AllegedSandwichThief says, "Thank you." This reply received 5 upvotes. A comment from user Glossy Moose says, "I'ma keep this simple. You have a wife at home, WHO loves you." Pathetic honestly. This comment received 203 upvotes. A comment from user Trust But Veer1FY says, "If genders were swapped, your best friend would have been called a skeezy gross poss and only using friendship as a guise for sex, hookup. This is friendship-ending behavior on 2 counts. 1. Unsolicited dick pic. Somehow, 2. Endangering your marriage." This comment received 169 upvotes. A comment from user Pang says, "There is so much wrong in this post. You were alone with a woman for 20 minutes and went feral. You need therapy. This comment received 76 upvotes. A comment from user Sassidine04 says, "So, this guy 1. Almost kissed his friend the minute he was alone with her. 2. Discussed cheating with her the entire weekend. 3. Went so far as to even ask her to send him a nude. 4. Can't stop thinking about his friend romantically, sexually. Yeah. He's already cheating emotionally and is a stone's throw away from 100% committing and cheating physically the minute he gets a chance. His next update in a few months is gonna be like, Tifu. I've been having an affair with my best friend and my wife found out. She wants a divorce. Best of luck to his poor wife." This comment received 29 upvotes. A comment from user Pickleiber says, "Cancel the friend or cancel the wife. I suggest the former." This comment received 42 upvotes. A comment from user Downtown Custard 5346 says, "Robin Williams once said, 'It's God's fault for giving men 2 heads. But only enough blood to use one at a time, and although it's a joke, it's very true.' The fact that you had to stop yourself from kissing her before things progressed tells me that eventually, regardless of how you feel now, and even after, there will come a time where she'll make a move, and you'll be using the wrong head. And she will make a move if she's sending you pictures like that. If you don't cut all ties with her now, this is almost guaranteed to end in regret." This comment received 48 upvotes. A comment from user Quigley Upunder3 says, "It's called an emotional affair. Dumbass. This is not a today I fucked up. This was I fucked up over the course of time. You should feel terrible. Cut contact with 34F. Tell your wife and reap the consequences. Your boundaries were a precaution, but your actions and decisions, you decided to put yourself in these situations. Suck. Like you really suck as a husband." This comment received 59 upvotes. A comment from user Slamagram says, "You're full of fucking shit. If you loved your wife as much as you say, this wouldn't even be an issue. Stop frontin'. Leave your wife. You don't deserve her." This comment received 38 upvotes. A comment from user Spirit Talker says, "Guilty feet have got no rhythm." This comment received 40 upvotes. A comment from user IAMN0TSTEVE says, "Bro. Stop. You're about to destroy your own life and lose the woman who loves you. The minute she showed you the phone is exactly when you should have stood up and left. Stop thinking with your dick and think with your real head. What you're feeling for your friend is lust, not to be confused with love. Also reconsider her as a friend, because she crossed the friendship line." This comment received 35 upvotes. A comment from user puzzleheaded_lock519 says, "Run. Literally flee." This comment received 20 upvotes. A comment from user T3 Street 0 says, "So you were turned on by her sucking some other guy's dick? Curious whether that dick belongs to her current partner or has she already cheated?" This comment received 21 upvotes. A comment from user Texan 2050 says, "She's for the streets. Who shows a married man a picture of themselves engaging in a sexual act and then asks for advice on hair color? Lol. I almost can't believe it." This comment received 30 upvotes.